Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. I am super excited to introduce myself, no one else today. And Pakistan just beat South Africa in the first T20 international by 4 wickets, and that's why I'm wearing my Pakistan shirt. Hold on, it's here. No, that's Pepsi. That's not Pakistan. Here you go. That's the Pakistan symbol. Right, let's go straight into this. I'm going to do a very brief one. It was actually pretty exciting, even with the youngsters and fresher South African players on show, considering what we've had. At least, I'd say 5, 6 South African players, five, I think, in total, actually go to the IPL. Unfortunately, for you international cricket fans. But enough of that. Let's get into the match. So, South Africa actually batted first and posted what, to be honest, was a pretty good total, 188. The only thing I would say is at one point they were actually 140 off 14 overs. So you might think, okay, well, from there, we're going to go at least at the same rate at 10 and over. Unfortunately, they didn't do that, which to me was surprising, but some good bowling at the death. And as one of my subscribers rightfully pointed out, some good bowling at the end, especially from Shaheen Afridi and actually Haris Roth right at the end, anyways. Um, in addition to that, Hassan Ali, I think, was the standout really with the seamers. 4 overs for only 28 runs, so going at 7 and over and 2 wickets. And Mohammed Nawaz was so tight. 4 overs for 21. 2 wickets for him at economy rate of 5.25. And he picked up the two openers in Yanaman Malan and Markram, which is very similar to what happened in the third ODI, where he came in, after not playing the first two ODIs, he came in that third one and he picked up vital wickets. I think it was 2 out of the 4 top 4. Now, Yanaman Malan, we know how good a timer of the ball he was. He looked pretty good for his 24 of 16, 2 fours, 2 sixes. But the biggest surprise at the top of the order was Aiden Markram, because I didn't think that he was going to be someone who would necessarily excel in the T20 format, considering he struggled in the ODI stuff. And I was thinking, you know what? This might be a case of someone being pigeonholed into just red ball cricket. But he showed his class here, 51 off 32, and he's given the South African selectors a bit of a headache, because if he continues to score runs this series, you're going to have Markram up there alongside people like Bavuma, De Kock, and Yanaman Malan. You're going to have potentially 4 options to open, and that's not even including someone like Reza Hendricks, who can also open in T20s. So I tell you what, South Africa have got a good headache to have, but also an important one, and they're going to have to make some pretty cutthroat decisions going into that T20 World Cup in India later this year in November. But some good signs anyway. In addition to that, Heinrich Klaasen, the captain, standing captain and wicketkeeper, because Bavuma is injured, unfortunately pulled his hamstring in the third ODI, so wasn't available. He scored 50 of 28, 2 fours and 4 sixes. He was really impressive. A strike rate of 179. So he looked very good, and he formed a fantastic partnership with Van Biljon. He got 34 of 24, 2 sixes for him and a strike rate of 141. So more rotating strike role, but also has power. Don't get that twisted. So he actually batted quite well, I thought. And those two put on 61 off 6 overs. And at that point, you're thinking, hold on, they're going to go big here. But Klaasen and Van Biljon went in the space of 2 overs, and that, I think, stalled them. Then Georgian got 6 off 7, so again, not too helpful. 9 off 5 each for Magala and Felaqueo. So they stuttered a little bit towards the end, tried to pick it up, but just couldn't quite. And they got a pretty, as I said, a solid total of 188 for 6. Now, Shaheen Afridi actually got hit quite badly. 11.25 economy for him. You don't see that too often. A wicket, though, picked up as well. Haris Rolf, who I've had to hold my hands up and say, in the past, that actually in the ODI series, for example, he did fantastically well. I have to say, a lot better than I thought he would have, because I am not the biggest fan of his, and haven't been since his inclusion into the Pakistan team, if I'm being honest with you. And I guess today, and again, I'm not going to be happy about it because it's an international cricket, it's his livelihood. But I guess today showed why I had those opinions in the first place. He ended up going for 12.33 and over, which was pretty disappointing. Only a wicket right at the end for him. 3 for 37, didn't even bowl his full allocation of 4. And Usman Ghadir as well. I mean, he went for 3 for 38. So 3 overs, sorry, even for 38 runs. According to 12.66, he bowled even worse. And that was quite surprising to see. But look, I mean, on these tracks as well, they're not always the most spinner friendly, but I thought that was a little bit alarming to say the least. Now, in addition to that, Pakistan, I think, something that was very, very impressive is the fact that they hardly bowled any extras. In fact, there was only one leg by. Now, how good is that from a Pakistani perspective? You won't see that very often. I tell you, no balls, no wides, just the sole leg by. Beautiful stuff, I have to say. Really disciplined performance in terms of your, I guess, just, well, in terms of your extras. It really was. Now, going on to the Pakistan innings, something that surprised me a little bit. So, Fakhar Zaman came in. He actually was a late inclusion into the T20 squad. A lot of people would have thought before this that Shajil Khan would have been in the side. However, I think due to the fact that Fakhar Zaman hit back-to-back hundreds, really impressive hundreds as well, in the ODI series, meant he warranted a place in the 11. He got his chance. I would have thought it would have been alongside Mohammed Rizwan at the top. However, it wasn't. He actually came in at 3. And as Mohammed Rizwan and Babar Azam opened up, as we've seen in the past, although Babar Azam actually put himself down to 3 in the last T20 against South Africa at home. However, this time he moved himself back up, the captain. 14 or 14 for him, so not what he would have liked, to be fair. But at the time, Mohammed Rizwan was motoring, and we were actually 41 for naught or 4.5 overs, so a pretty good start anyway for Pakistan, a solid start. He actually holed out. It was Brian Hendricks who's actually got Rizwan a few times, but I can't really say that this was a matter of skill or deception from Hendricks. It was more a case of Babar Azam, even just getting himself out. I mean, he hit the ball to, I think it was deep cover in the end, and it was just one of those things that he's thinking to himself, what have I done there? I'm trying to hit the gap, hit in the air, didn't need to. Okay, he'll move on, he'll come back strong. We know that. Class player. Fakhar Zaman and Mohammed Rizwan then put on a pretty solid partnership of 45 off just over 5 overs even. So again, 9 and over, pretty solid partnership. And Fakhar Zaman hit 27 of 19. Actually looked pretty good whilst he was in. He really did. But Shamsi got him, and it was a very good. It was just Shamsi is just a very good bowler, to be honest with you. He's not the number 1 T20 bowler, right, in international cricket for no reason. This left arm wrist spinner showed again his class here. And I'll go into his stats and figures in a bit because he was a standout bowler for me for South Africa, and I think for most people. Incredible performance from him, but an even better performance from the man of the match in Mohammed Rizwan. 74 not out of 50 balls, 9 fours, 2 sixes, a strike rate of 148, and he looked in imperious form. And it's funny because in test matches and T20s, he's really solidified his position. He knows exactly the way he wants to play, and he plays fantastically well. ODIs is the one that he just, for some reason, can't quite manage to find his feet yet in. And I don't know why. I'm sure it'll be a matter of time. He's a class act. But he didn't let those 3 performances, those 3 tame performances in the recent series weigh him down. Back with a bang again and carried on his fantastic T20 form. He actually hit 100, 50 and 40 in the T20s against South Africa at home. Same vein, 74 or 50, not out. Nice little red inker there as well. He'll be super happy with that. And he saw us home, but not without difficulty, because we at one point needed 44 of 19 balls. Now, at that stage, I'm thinking Pakistan are not going to win this. Fakhar Zaman was gone. Mohammed Hafiz, Shamsi, brilliant. Wrongen, stunt by Klaasen, 13 off 11. Your big gun in Mohammed Hafiz is gone. Big gun in Babar Azam is gone. Fakhar Zaman, the man in form, gone. Haider Ali got out to what can only be described as a poor delivery from Hendricks. It's a knee-high full toss that's clattering into the middle stump. and he's trapped him LBW. And I'm just thinking to myself, that should have gone into the stands. And Heinrich, I think, is almost thinking to himself, what has just happened? Slightly unlucky, but also I think he would have known I should have done better. And then next delivery, Mohammed Nawaz, who I think bats 3 or 4 for his domestic side. And I've heard from people, um, Ashton, that he should be apparently in the top 6. Well, I said this, and I said this before. Look, if you want to be in the top 6, you've got to prove yourself lower down the order first, so you can move up. Didn't prove himself here, and actually he came in at 6. First baller from Hendricks, nicked behind to the keeper. On your bike, golden duck. He bowled fantastically well, batting wise though, just not up to scratch for me at the moment. And look, we know, and I can tell you this, and everyone will know, batting is 90% mental. But that's the thing; it's 90% mental. So he's not in that mental frame of mind at the moment to be getting runs. You can't put him up the order, and maybe he needs to work on it. Simple as that. Fahim Ashraf 30 off 14 for him though, and he was vital to this chase. He really was. 30 off 14, 4 fours, 1 6, strike rate of 214, and he just impresses me more and more. And after it, similarly to Rizwan, to be honest with you, again, hasn't quite found his feet in ODIs, put that performance with the bat, though, in the series behind him. And just like he has on the Test series, now in the T20 as well, he's finding his feet, looked really good. A fantastic check drive down the ground for 6, over mid-on as well. And he just looked a really, really good player. Just a really good bat and looks in good nick. We actually then needed, so we went from 44 off 19, right, to hitting 20 of the next 4 deliveries. So we took it down to 24 needed. Let me do this right. 24 needed off 15 balls. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow. I think it was like 6-4, 6-4, 4-6 or something, which would be 20 off 4 that we got. So yeah, 24 or 15 from 44 off 19. I'm thinking Pakistan have just set themselves up here. And also it was a case of the South African bowlers in Hendricks, Magala especially as well. They just kept on missing their Yorkers. They kept on missing their Yorkers and they ended up being low full tosses and they just ended up getting slapped everywhere. And to be honest, Mohammed Rizwan and Fahim Ashraf made them pay. Hassan Ali came in, nice little knock for him, 9 runs off 3 balls, 1-4, just was swinging wildly, to be honest, from the hip. But it came down to the equation of 11 needed off the last over. And to be honest with you, I was thinking, I had a lot of subscribers going, or some subscribers even going, we've lost this. I said, no, we'll do this. It'll be easy. We'll do this. We just got 11 off the last over. But deep down, I was a bit scared, if I'm being honest with you. And it wasn't helped after Fahim Ashraf hit the first delivery straight down long on's throat. Yes, it wasn't the most easy catch. But I tell you what, at that level, you should be taking it. And he dropped it, and it was a bad drop. Then next ball gets cleaned up. And I'm just thinking, oh no, gets cleaned up middle stump. And we need 9 or 4 deliveries. Hassan only walks to the crease and goes, you know what, I'm the big dog here. And swings wildly, huge outside edge, goes down for 4, 5 off 3 needed. You're thinking, okay, what's going to happen here? Hassan Ali goes again. This time he just swings again, wildly, really. And goes over mid-off's head. And it's Brian Hendricks, and it's over his shoulder. So this is slightly harder than the last catch. But again, probably should be taking this over his head, 2 hands out, go straight through him. I'm just thinking, what the heck? So that's another 2 runs for Pakistan, and we need 3 of 2 runs. I think it's, again, by the way, Mohammed Rizwan didn't face a single ball in this last over. Hassan Ali chips it into the leg side, down towards cow corner. We run 2. Then it's an overthrow. We win the match from overthrow. Crazy. South Africa, who are supposed to be this elite fielding side and have had people like John T. Rhodes and others, A.B. de Villiers, all these incredible, Herschel Gibbs, all these fantastic fielders come out of South Africa, lost a match because nearly half the runs in that last over were given away from drops or overthrows. 4 runs from drops because 2 in the first drop, 2 off the second drop, and then 1 off the overthrow. 5 of those 11 runs needed off the last over came from bad fielding. Crazy. You couldn't write it. And Pakistan, in turn, chased their highest ever total. So 187 was the highest ever total previously against Australia in 2018, sorry, in Harare. And this time it was 189. So Pakistan's highest ever chase. Fantastic to see. Right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in as well. Let me know what you thought about the T20. Let me know about your, well, anything really, your thoughts on the match. What you think Pakistan's lineup should be going forward. I had a lot of questions about that when I was doing the live stream. And also, what do you think about South Africa as well? The new additions to South Africa. There's a lot of new faces that some people wouldn't have seen before. A couple of very good knocks from Klaasen and Markram. And Shamsi was so good. 4 overs to 29, 2 wickets. He was very good. Brian Hendricks, to be fair as well. Despite the 4 tosses got away with it. 3 wickets for him. Economy of only 8. Everyone else got a bit of tap over 10 and over, to be honest with you. So not fantastic for those guys. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Please do remember to like this video and share the video. It really does help. And subscribe to the channel. Again, it really helps the channel grow. It is growing. Let's get this channel to as many subscribers as possible. Let's keep it growing. Thank you very much, guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a fantastic day, afternoon, and evening. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much.